Hi guys, it's me again, Vitaly14, coming with the review of the Game Boy Pocket with my friend Jazzy. So, here it is, the Game Boy Pocket system, like I promised you in the last video. So, it came out in 1996, right after the release of the Game Boy Play Out Loud. So if you bought one of the Game Boy Play Out Louds, you must have felt like an idiot, because the Game Boy Pocket is so much better than the original Game Boy system. So I'll go over why. So here's the original Game Boy system, but this does not count Play It Loud as its own system. So if you can see here, the size is an incredible difference. The first thing you notice. Just look at this. Like, man. And the screen is another thing. So you've been playing in your green and black screen, and now now with the Game Boy Pocket, it's actual black and white gaming here. There's not too many differences between the system hardware-wise, other than the screen, and it's a lot smaller. I think the speaker on the original Game Boy is a little louder. Yeah, so basically, it's the biggest difference is the small. It's a lot more small, and the screen is a lot better, and just a tiny bit bigger too, I must say. Now let's see here. The bottom of the Game Boy Pocket, you got your headphone jack right here, and it says actually the voltage of the DC jack, and it's 3 volts this time compared to the Game Boy's original Game Boy's 6 volt, and the original Game Boy's was on the left hand side, excuse me. So that's the bottom, and the left, we've got the volume wheel and your multiplayer link port. On your right side, got your contrast wheel. On the back, this time with the Game Boy Pocket, we have a battery change. Let's see, original Game Boy, 4 AA's, and now conveniently with the Game Boy Pocket, 2 AA's, which is always nice for me because I have way too many AA's lying around.
And it also save you a lot of money because 4 AA's will cost a lot more than 2 AA's over a long period of time.
Yeah, I think the battery life's about the same. I don't know, you got new buttons, of course, different D-pad, much different A and B buttons, a lot smaller. Everything's a lot smaller, including the speaker, a lot smaller. So the top, you still got your on and off switches, and of course the back, it still plays all the same Game Boy games. Now this Game Boy Pocket I have, it's been through a lot. You can just see it on the system, like right up here, you know. It's been worn off throughout the years, you know. This kid probably got it back in '96 or something. Played the heck out of it. So it's a really nice addition to this Game Boy series. The first big step by Nintendo. You know, it's a step, but I wouldn't say a huge step. Still plays the original Game Boy games, like I said. No new game changes. But definitely, I would have recommended it back in the day. So let's do some new gameplay of an old favorite, Tetris. If you want to see what Tetris looks like on the original Game Boy, I did a video on that. Just go to my channel. But now here's some gameplay of Tetris on the Game Boy Pocket. Now on later Game Boy Pockets, there was a little red light right there. But this is one of the earlier ones, so it doesn't have it. I'm not going to buy one just to show you guys and review it, but you know what I mean. You know, speaker's not as loud. Is it picking up pretty good on the camcorder?
Yeah, it's good.
Alright.
The black and white screen shows a lot better than the crappy green and black.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was pretty hard to film with the Play It Loud and the much clearer screen. It's a lot more better to play, you know. A lot more convenient. And the size, you know, it can actually fit in your pocket this time. You know, I had like a pair of pants that could fit the original Game Boy, but not comfortably, and that was pretty big pocket, you know. The different shades of gray. I think there's about 4 different shades of gray that the Game Boy can display.
Probably.
Shows
but
up.
It's still a lot better than 2 shades, one black and one green.
Yeah, the color. Okay, I'm not doing too well. I need to get a long piece.
He also said in the last video that people who bought the Game Boy Play It Loud were getting ripped off because the Game Boy Pocket came right after that, and it's a much better investment.
Oh yeah.
Well, in the next video, you're going to be reviewing the Game Boy Light, which is basically a Game Boy Pocket, except it has a backlit screen. So people who bought the Game Boy Pocket, even though it's much better than the Play It Loud, might still feel ripped off when they get the Light. Because
But only in Japan.
Yeah.
But it did come out in the USA. I'll get into the Game Boy Light next review.
First Game Boy with a backlit screen.
It was actually frontlit.
Whatever. It has a light.
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's the light. You know, this still doesn't have a light, the Game Boy Pocket, but it's a lot more clear and more convenient.
Because when every kid gets their Game Boy, they try to, play it on long car rides or something, and if it's nighttime, they can if it's not lit.
Unless if you have the accessory, of course.
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt with my original Game Boy Color. And then when I finally got my Game Boy Advance SP, I was so happy because I could play it in the car at night.
Yeah, I wish the speaker was a little bit louder on this. It would have been nice.
Is it all the way up?
Yeah, it is actually. Yay. Yeah, so that's what a game looks like playing on the Game Boy Pocket. A nice black and white screen. This was Tetris, of course. Really good game. Ah, my hands are a little bit sweaty, I'm sorry. So that's basically it, the Game Boy Pocket. A lot smaller than the original Game Boy, a lot more portable, a lot more clear, a lot more convenient to play. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the review with me and Jazzy of the Game Boy Pocket. And if you have any questions, just put it on the comment box below, and I will answer them, hopefully. So, see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.